Hi, I'm Ken Miller with the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and I have Carolina Ray here with C-Ray Performance. And right now we're going to show you a sequence that you can use to help with your golfers with upper body mobility. So mobility is important for the golfer because we have a nice big dynamic swing that we have to go from the backswing all the way through the follow through. So having good shoulder, good upper spinal mobility is one, but also having good strength and stability to complement that is another. So right now we're going to have Carolina Ray here go ahead and she's going to foam roll or self-myofascial, perform a little self-myofascial technique on her lats. Okay, she's using the Hyperice Viper right now. So to start, she's laying on her side. So the area that she's going to cover is going to be right up to the armpit, down the outside of the shoulder blade, and all the way down to the mid-ribs, or what I might tell my female clients is down to the bra line. So she's looking for a tender spot, and when I say a tender spot, I'm referring to on a pain scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely painful, 1 being almost nothing. She's looking for something that's going to be about 6 or 7. So it's not a 9 or a 10 where it's so tender or painful that you're not going to be able to relax, but something that's tender enough that she's going to be able to stand and see through until it decreases in tenderness by about 50 to 60%. So anywhere from about 30 to 60 seconds is what it might take, but don't be surprised if you find a spot and it takes a little bit longer. Now, if this is her first time on that area, I'm going to keep asking for feedback and seeing how she's doing. How's that spot feeling?
Feels nice and tight.
Nice and tight. Okay, so let me know when that decreases. If it's a 7, I want that number to be closer to a 3 or a 4 at the end. All right? So once that decreases, she can either go look for another spot or she can switch over to the other side. So let's fast forward a little bit and let's say that she's done the other side and now it's time to stretch. Now, if we're in a beginner phase or a stabilization phase of training, I'm going to have her perform what we'll call more of a static stretch. A static hold is what we're looking for, to where she's going to get into the stretch position and then hold that for about 30 seconds. So she's going to sit the hips back towards the heels. She's going to control that, and then with that wrist or that lower forearm on the roller there, she is going to go ahead and reach away. So when she reaches away, she's increasing the distance of her shoulder to her hips. So the lats being the area of focus here, we're trying to get as much length out of that area as we possibly can. So not only does that mean a reach up and a reach away with the upper arm, but it also means a little bit of a lateral hip flex towards the opposite side. So she's trying to get her left shoulder away from this left back pocket. All right, so let's just say she's done that on both sides. How's that feel?
Awesome. Love it.
All right, perfect. So she's got a little bit of relaxation through the self-myofascial technique. She's got a little bit of stretch. Okay, so now we have a little bit of length. Now the next thing we want to do is strengthen. So we're trying to activate some of the muscles that complement this area. So we're going to start off with a single leg cobra. So she's going to take pretty light weights right here. So she's got the 3-pounders, and she's going to balance on a single leg. So when she balances on this left leg, she's got a little bit of a flex in the hip and the knee. That right foot's going to stand next to but not touch the floor or that opposite foot. She's going to have her shoulders in a little bit of flexion. Now as she comes up into this cobra, you'll notice that her thumbs are going to reach out and away. She's going to hold, and then she's going to slowly return to her start position. Now, as she does that, and she's going to keep going while I talk, she's going to keep her lower spine in a nice neutral position. I'm watching out and making sure she doesn't arch her back, or in this case, watching her ribs and making sure they don't flare out, or this curve right here doesn't get accentuated anymore while she performs. Ears, shoulders, hips are all in line, and then from the front view, hip, knee, and toe stay in line. So tempo is going to be very important for stabilization, so I'm looking for slow, controlled motions here, and as she holds, she's gonna hold that for a couple, and then she's gonna take longer to come back. So she's doing really good as far as her form, technique, her ability to control and relax. So I can do this a few different ways. So if I wanted to do 12 repetitions, that I could have her do 12 repetitions on the right leg, and then the next set do 12 repetitions on the left, or I can have her do 6 on the right, 6 on the left within the same set. All right, so we're doing a lot with that exercise for balance, so we're integrating the hips. And then when it comes to strengthening my client for the game of golf, I'm gonna pick here a bent over dumbbell row. So I've got her with the 10-pound dumbbells, although she can pick up a lot more than that. She's got a good flex in the hip and the knee, but if anything, I do want her to get as aggressive as she can with that forward tilt right there, as long as, again, ears, shoulders, hips stay in a nice aligned position. So just like any other row, she's gonna pull up and down. So here it's, again, an alternating dumbbell row. So I can alternate this in a couple ways. So she can leave one arm down as she pulls up, or I can have her pull both arms up, and then alternate the arm coming down. So this is what we might call an anti-rotational exercise. So as this arm is up, the force is gonna want her to turn down, but it's forcing her spinal stability to be called into action here as she resists that rotation down, as she holds that dumbbell up by the ribs. And again, nice and controlled motions here. Great scapular stability, so she's keeping those shoulder blades in place. She's keeping that spine nice and neutral. She's getting good shoulder retraction here, so everything, ears, shoulders, hips are in line and perfect, and relax. Okay, so when it comes to your golfers, we want to think about the game as much as we can. So that's why the single leg cobra, again, you're addressing the ball, you got the club in hand, you're nice and hip flexed, right? And you're having a lot of motion, a lot that you have to control with that rotational movement. And then I again picked a bent over movement pattern here with the row, because again, you're playing 18 holes and you're gonna play, 3.5, 4 hours, depending on how your game is. So you're gonna have to build up some endurance. So I'm gonna go back to back with that flex position. So when it comes to programming, I'm thinking about the game as much as I am about the client or the athlete in front of me. So try this sequence. First of all, full and roll, relax, get some length, get that good extensibility, flexibility through the shoulder, and then we can challenge balance, builds up hip endurance, and then with that row, again, we're building more trunk stability as we work on that upper body strength. So incorporate that into your program. If you haven't already, try it out and let us know how you think. We know you'll like it. So thanks for watching.